This is a Dayton 24/7 Now Code Red weather alert.
All right, a live look at the radar. You can see rain already over us, and it's showing it's here to stay for the night. Rain already causing some minor flooding throughout the Miami Valley. Due to that threat, we are issuing that Code Red weather alert.
And here's a live look out at our roadways right now from our owned on cameras. Heavy rain again hitting the Miami Valley, making those roads slick. Now the rain's going to continue throughout the night and even into the early parts of tomorrow.
And Natalie, you have been talking about the rain coming all week. This is the night. It backed up a little bit as far as the timing, but it's going to be fierce tonight.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a break earlier into the afternoon, but the ground is still so saturated from last night's rain that really now that we get heavier rain on top of the saturated soils as well as swollen rivers and creeks, it makes flooding more of a concern once we get some higher rainfall rates to make their way back through. So radar right now showing the higher rainfall rates off to our west. Showers building back into the Dayton area currently. Really right now light to moderate rain, but back off to our west where we have these orange and red colors indicating that heavier precipitation, which is our bigger concern for any flooding across the area. Flood watch in effect for most of the area, excluding Auglaize, Mercer County, until 2 p.m. tomorrow. And then the winds are going to kick up by tomorrow afternoon. Got a wind advisory from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. tomorrow. Strong winds, 50 to 55 mile per hour wind gusts for the day tomorrow. So this is what we're tracking with our Code Red weather alert, that flooding potential tonight. For tomorrow, down tree limbs, potentially some down trees. Isolated power outages could be a concern. So coming up, I'm timing it all out for you, letting you know how much rain we're going to get in just a bit.
Natalie, thanks. To live pictures tonight from our first warning weather vehicle. As you can see, the rain continues to fall here in the Miami Valley, and some parts of the area may even be experiencing some flooding in the near future. Clara Faith is live tonight in Centerville. And Clara, what are you seeing out there?
Well, Megan, it is cold and wet outside, and like Natalie said, with that heavy rain and winds coming in overnight, there is a potential for flooding throughout the Miami Valley. I spoke with some residents who live off of Alex Bell Road here in Centerville, where I am, and this comes after the city closed part of the road this morning, saying the area does not handle rainfall. And the residents tell me this area is used to seeing flooded roads, but haven't seen anything too severe.
When it really comes down fast, this right-hand lane as you're heading up the hill towards Clio does flood, and there's times when they have to shut it down. I would just tell them to be careful when they get down to the bottom and stay in the left-hand lane and avoid the right-hand lane.
Now, I did hear from experts on what to do if you're planning to hit the road tomorrow, and they say never drive on flooded roads. Have a way to get to weather alerts and stay away from flooded creeks, rivers, and streams. And like Natalie said, it's going to be coming in overnight, so you want to make sure that you're being safe on the roads and taking your time all weekend long, but hopefully it comes to a dry point by Sunday. Now back to you guys in studio.
Clara, thanks. As we get weather updates, we'll alert you here on air and online through our Dayton 24/7 Now app. With that app, you can get breaking weather alerts sent right to your phone. Just take out your camera, scan that QR code there on your screen. You can download the app. You can also find it for free in the Google Play and Apple app stores.
And we'll also be providing updates on our social media accounts, so be sure to follow and like the pages you see there on your screen to get the very latest information.
New tonight, records obtained by us here at Dayton 24/7 Now reveals the name of the officer who's under investigation by the Ohio BCI. Records show that Sergeant Joseph Setti of Dayton PD was relieved of duty earlier this week because of misconduct allegations. Documents also say he'll remain on leave with benefits until otherwise advised. Now, we're working to confirm what he's been accused of, and as we learn anything new, we'll update you on air and online at Dayton247now.com.
Senator Sherrod Brown was in Clark County today visiting the site of the train derailment earlier this month. He met with rail workers and local leaders in Springfield to discuss his Rail Safety Act. That's a bipartisan legislation spearheaded by him and Senator J.D. Vance, aiming to increase safety and regulations on rail companies.
The average fine they pay is under $3,000. And a multi-billion-dollar company, when the CEOs probably paid millions, a $3,000 fine doesn't exactly hurt.
Large-scale derailments have endangered multiple communities in Ohio, like here in Springfield and nationwide.
Well, the rail safety bill would increase maximum fines for safety violations from $10,000 to $250,000, designate trains carrying flammable liquids as highly hazardous, require two-man crews, and enhance communication with first responders. Brown says he hopes the bill makes its way through Congress in the next 4 to 5 weeks and that President Biden will sign it.
At noon tonight, it's reported that Norfolk Southern erased most of the video from the train cab that had crashed in East Palestine. That could have provided crucial information about the East Palestine derailment if it was kept. Only 15 minutes before the derailment, 5 minutes after remained from the 12 hours of recording time that's usually on each locomotive. When asked about the missing recording, Transportation Board leader Jennifer Hamady said her agency plans to hold an investigative field hearing in East Palestine in June.
An update tonight on a story that we've been following for weeks. This afternoon, the Perry Township Board of Trustees held a special meeting, and with no discussion, they voted unanimously to terminate the township's chief of police, Timothy Littleton, effective immediately. Now, this comes as the board has been discussing a possible contract with the New Lebanon Police Department. No word tonight on if that is going to be the next step. All police matters will now be handled by Officer Erica Barga for the township, we're told. Following today's meeting, the township released this statement saying in part the Perry Township Board of Trustees anticipates a smooth transition by reorganizing the Perry Township Police Department from within. We would like to thank the officers of Perry Township Police Department for their dedication and service to the residents of Perry Township. The board emphasizes its commitment to protecting the safety of residents of Perry Township.
The fire department in Cincinnati may be in the spotlight tonight, but these same issues could exist in your workplace. An entire industry is working to help employers make their companies less hostile to women. Luke Jones has a closer look at that and some new information about what was uncovered at the fire department.
A boys' club mentality. That's what the group Women Helping Women says it found at the Cincinnati Fire Department. And it claims many fire department employees pointed the finger at leadership, including now former Chief Michael Washington.
I wouldn't say that he created, I think he may have inherited, but I don't think he helped remediate it.
This includes allegedly ignoring an order to examine his department's workplace culture. It's something Patrice Borders says a lot of bosses could benefit from doing.
The work starts with us looking at our own behaviors and those that we allow to persist.
Borders' company, Amplify EI, offers inclusion training and emotional intelligence coaching.
Am I calling my colleagues and my teammates in and creating teachable moments? Am I calling them out?
Inclusion experts say that last part is just as important as what we do ourselves. In Cincinnati, I'm Luke Jones.
2 people are dead and several are unaccounted for after an explosion at a Pennsylvania chocolate factory tonight. Lydia Bice is at the Now desk. I know we just received word of this. What's the very latest on it?
That's right, Megan. Like you said, 2 people are dead and 7 are still missing after an explosion at the R.M. Palmer Company in West Reading, Pennsylvania. Now, the multi-alarm fire was reported just before 5 p.m. tonight, and witnesses reported hearing an explosion and then seeing flames shortly after. Now, this candy-making plant had been at this location since 1959 and is believed to be a total loss.
Now, is there any word on what caused the explosion there?
There's no word yet as to what caused this explosion, and the search for survivors will continue throughout the night. Back to you.
Lydia, thanks. The recent bank crisis has millions of Americans deciding what to do with their money. Others just trying to figure out how it'll affect everyday life. Cassie Arsenault sat down with economics experts on what that means for spending and everyday money woes.
Turmoil in the market always puts money in motion. The recent bank crisis has millions of Americans across the country deciding what to do with their money. Others are just trying to figure out how this will affect everyday life. After the Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank collapse, fears and anxieties have been building. Worries compounded by an emergency takeover of European financial giant Credit Suisse. And while the U.S. government stepped in to reassure people their money is safe, there's always a cause and effect. So what does this mean for the average American trying to make ends meet day in and day out? I sat down with E.J. Ume, an associate professor of economics at Miami University. Ume says because of the recent collapse, small and medium banks will likely have tighter credit conditions. So people who could get a loan for their house or a car before may not meet the criteria anymore. Credit card limits could lower, and we may see stricter standards for the approval of a credit card.
It means if you're wanting to buy that home, you're wanting to refinance, you're wanting to buy that car, you may not have access to credit, right? So it has implications for even the everyday people.
And that was Cassie Arsenal reporting tonight. Now, a thief breaking into a bar to steal the liquor, the latest, and the video from that theft coming up.
And continuing to follow tonight's Code Red weather alert, a look at flooding potential in our local waterways.
And I'm tracking that rain plus strong winds in the forecast tomorrow, too. That's coming up. Here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Well, it's no happy hour inside this Columbus bar. A thief captured on camera grabbing up expensive liquor from the top shelf. So tonight, Steve Levine has the very latest and the video from that burglary.
A burglar busted on camera stealing expensive bourbon from a Franklinton business. Tonight, this boozy bandit's two-wheeled getaway. Just watch as this thief busts into this Franklinton business early Wednesday morning. Within seconds, the crook is making a beeline for the booze, grabbing up bottles of expensive bourbon. This boozy bandit broke into Maker Social, a bar that opened weeks before the pandemic, where customers can make arts and crafts projects while enjoying a cocktail. Listen to the alleged thief huff and puff, sounding like he needs a drink as he steals his liquid loot. The suspected bourbon burglar may have fled on two wheels. Security cameras capture a guy matching the description of the suspect, who appears to be riding a bicycle around the same time of the break-in near the business. Columbus police now investigating the cocktail crime. Steve Levine in Columbus for Dayton 24/7.
All right, here's a live look from our first warning weather vehicle tonight. As you can see, the wipers are out, the roads are wet, and it's only going to continue to get worse as the night progresses. Natalie?
That's right. Heavier rain is already starting to make its way in, and this is what's going to be on top of the already saturated soil that we have, swollen streams, creeks and rivers, which could cause flooding concerns overnight. So warm fronts lifted its way through. The front was situated south of us through most of the day, which brought us that break of precipitation. But now as this lifts its way northward, more rain is on the way. Bigger picture here, severe weather has been to our south. Tornadoes reported in Mississippi. They have a tornado watch through this evening. Severe weather threat, not for us, but we will be dealing with strong winds for tomorrow. So moving through time, rain becomes widespread, very heavy at times. This is about 2 a.m. That's when we're really going to see the heavier rain across the area. That begins to lift its way off northeastward. Temperature-wise, we'll wake up to even 50s. We warm up in the mornings, close to 60 degrees. And then it starts to get cold by the afternoon and evening, back down into the 40s. The winds start to increase by tomorrow as well. So coming up, I am going to talk about those strong winds, how strong they're expected to be, and how much more rainfall is going to be on top of what we've already seen coming up.
Natalie, thanks. 3 contractors were injured after a toxic gas release at a Meyer distribution center in Tip City. All 3 had chemical inhalation symptoms, and one had a minor chemical burn. Tip City Fire and Emergency Services said a toilet bowl cleaner leaked, mixed with bleach, and created the toxic gas. All 3 victims are stable tonight. No other injuries have been reported. Montgomery County Sheriff Rob Streck warning the community tonight about a series of scam calls. So people are getting calls from somebody who presents themselves as Kenny, claiming to be with the sheriff's office. Now, the caller tells that resident that they have failed to appear in court or that there was a legal matter that they needed to discuss. He then requests a payment or they would have a warrant out for their arrest. Now, Streck says the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office never does this. They don't call residents and threaten arrest for unpaid fines or warrants. If you get a scam call like this, hang up and report it to the police. A story now from our partners at the Dayton Business Journal tonight. A 40-year-old building in downtown Dayton now being transformed for the first time since it was built. Dayton Realtors is nearing completion of the $3.5 million renovation of the 17,000 square foot building on South Main Street. They're adding more rentable space for the community and increased environmentally friendly energy efficiencies. It'll include 7 individual offices with moving dividers, and each room will have a 4K projector and connectivity amenities. And we have more information if you'd like to read more about it at Dayton247now.com. You can find that story and others like it under the Dayton Business Journal heading. That is in the News tab. All right, so here's a look from Riverscape Metro Park today. You can tell the water levels have risen over the last few days there as heavy rains have hit the area hard. Will continue to into the evening. And water levels are expected to rise again as the rain moves in tonight. Melena Brown was in West Carrollton today by the Great Miami River to see how it was holding up.
Right now I'm in West Carrollton by the Great Miami River. The wind is starting to pick up. It is really chilly. And if you take a look behind me, you're going to see the river. But what you're also going to see is a flooded road. And as we get more rain tonight, there is potential for more roads to be flooded, which brings up a really important message. It only takes 1 foot of water to sweep a car away, and just by looking at the water you can't really tell how deep it is. So the best thing you can do is turn around, don't drown. Another really important thing to bring up is that with the wind there is the potential for trees to blow over and to hit power lines, which could cause isolated power outages. So we just ask that all of our viewers keep this in mind tonight and going into tomorrow. For Dayton 24/7 Now News, I'm Melena Brown.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. As we head overnight with the rain, the saturated soil, and then with the winds tomorrow, it could make it easier for those trees to be knocked over. So that's something we'll have to monitor during the day tomorrow. But on top of what we've already seen, many places already seen at least 1 inch to 2 inches of rainfall. We're going to be expecting an additional inch or so of rainfall across the Miami Valley. So again, flooding going to be a concern overnight. Most of this will be between about the midnight to 3-4 a.m. time frame. So a lot of it while you will be sleeping. So just keep weather alerts. Flash flood warnings could be issued, especially for our counties along and south of I-70. Then the winds kick up, 50-55 mile per hour wind gusts possible. They do start to decrease a little bit as we head into tomorrow evening. Winds will calm down just a bit. and then it gets a little colder by tomorrow evening too. But overall, the windy conditions tomorrow could become a concern, bringing isolated power outages into the region. So just stay weather aware, and we'll be keeping you posted right here on air and online.
Natalie, thanks. Well, you may have heard us talk about this a little bit this week. Local celebrities are hitting the dance floor tomorrow for the 18th annual Dancing with the Dayton Stars. Elise Coulter is emceeing, and Good Day Dayton host Taze Joshi is going to compete for the trophy. All proceeds go to a special wish, helping grant wishes for local kids. Dancing with the Dayton Stars, again, 7 p.m. tomorrow. It is at the Nutter Center.
New data released just today showing the highest number of people experiencing homelessness in Montgomery County ever. The sobering statistics and what's being done to help.
Also, Montgomery County continuing to face food insecurity. The initiative to make healthy, locally grown food accessible.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Local leaders and community members met today to discuss the importance of having healthy, locally grown food accessible to all. Nearly 1 in 7 jobs in Ohio have to do with agriculture, but as a country, we import an abundance of food from other countries. According to today's Hall Hunger Initiative, this causes problems for local businesses and consumers.
Here in Montgomery County is that it's almost like 14% people are food insecure in this county. That's huge.
Now, the initiative's goal is for people to understand locally resourced food helps money stay within the community. You can learn how to plant your own produce through Oasis Agricultural Learning Center and many other resources throughout the county.
Montgomery County is now seeing a record high in homelessness numbers. The county released the point-in-time count results. That's the number of people experiencing homelessness when they conducted the check back in January. So at that time, there were 684 people in shelters and 106 unsheltered. That totals to 790 people without homes on one single night.
It was the largest numbers we've ever seen on a single night. Where we saw the biggest increase was in people experiencing unsheltered homelessness. And that increase from 2020 to 2023 was 116%.
Now, she says the average time people spend in shelters is 45 days. County officials say rising housing costs, inflation, and stagnant wages contribute to homelessness across the nation.
Dayton 24/7 Now is partnering with the National Alliance on Mental Illness, known as NAMI, to launch Sinclair Care's Mental Health Support and Hope. NAMI is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization, and it's dedicated to building better lives for millions of Americans affected by mental illness. Now, there's a lot of great resources and support groups for you here in the Miami Valley. Just go to sinclaircares.com or scan the QR code on your screen. And please join us tomorrow for a special town hall in partnership with NAMI. That's tomorrow, March 25th, 2 p.m. over on Fox 45.
A relationship in baseball remaining strong tonight. Why both the Reds and Dragons say they're looking forward to the 2023 season. You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Hello, I'm Matt Digby with a look at sports. Less than a week to go now until the Major League Baseball season, with minor league baseball beginning soon as well. And the relationship between the Cincinnati Reds and Dayton Dragons remains strong. Back in January, Cincinnati Reds general manager Nick Krall saying he was thankful for the relationship between the two cities, and Dragons executive vice president Eric Deutsch agreeing with that sentiment. Now, the minor league team has actually been a Reds affiliate since 1999, when they still played in Rockford, Illinois. But since moving to Dayton in 2000, it's been a partnership that's worked for both the Dragons and Reds, and the Dragons plan for that relationship to continue.
It makes complete sense that we're a Reds affiliate and should always be a Reds affiliate. I mean, this is the Reds' backyard. We're 50 minutes away. And the thing that is exciting for our fans is when our players do well here and they move on, and you can watch them do well, hopefully, with the Reds as well. So it's been a very good partnership. We're happy to be part of the Reds, and we hope to continue with that into the future.
And the Reds season opener is March 30th at Great American Ballpark against the Pirates. The Dragons home opener April 11th against the Great Lakes Loons. Several NCAA championship games taking place on Friday, including the men's hockey championship. Ohio State selected as an at-large team, and the Buckeyes rolling past Harvard 8-1, the final score Friday in Bridgeport, Connecticut. The first goal coming 3.5 minutes into the game, and it will be late in the third period until Harvard could get on the board to prevent a shutout. Ohio State moves on to the regional final Sunday in Bridgeport. If they win that game, the Frozen Four awaits April 6th in Tampa Bay. And Ohio State women's basketball less than 24 hours away from their Sweet 16 matchup with UConn. You can see that game on ABC 22 Saturday. The Buckeyes involved in close games earlier in the tournament against both James Madison and North Carolina before winning those contests. OSU was the 1993 NCAA runner-up, but they have not advanced past the Sweet 16 since then. This year, Centerville graduate Connie McMahon averaging almost 15 points a game for the Buckeyes. That'll do it for sports. I'm Matt Digby.
Well, heavier rain building back in, and then we're tracking winds for the day tomorrow. So taking a look at our planner for tomorrow, heading out in the morning, few showers around, won't be a complete washout by this point. Most of the rain is going to be overnight, but mid-upper 50s as we start off the day tomorrow. And then the winds by the morning into especially lunchtime hour, they're going to be strong.